archives. Excuse me, a little frog in the throat today. Thank you, thank you. Today is the a free public Casablanca Expert webinar, the anniversary edition AM session. I'll be doing another one of these, a separate, entirely new one, this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So thanks for joining me. Thank you for the well wishes for those of you. Today's topic is 12 plus tips in 60 minutes. Let's see how many tips I can get out. But the number of tips is commensurate with the number of questions I have from you folks. So, and I don't mean tech support questions. How come this doesn't work or this doesn't work? And maybe we can find a workaround to some of those. But really today is all about what you have on your Casablanca and how can you make this work or that work, or can you do this? Is this possible? Is that possible? So that's what today is all about, okay? And today is the third birthday, the third anniversary of the launch of the Casablanca Expert website community. It's hard for me to believe in some ways that it was 3 years ago on this very day that the Casablanca Expert website opened up with 102 articles and bunch of online resources, and it's grown to more than 696 articles. Today's host, that's me, the venerable, the honorable, the modest, perhaps, Chet Davis, otherwise known as the Casablanca Expert. Let's fire up the webcam, and we're going to head right in. And here we go. If you have a question, if you have a tip related to Casablanca, okay, to the operation of your Casablanca, whether it's Bogart or SmartEdit, and I've got both screens, I'm going to show them both today. I want you to type it in the box and tell me now, okay? Here we go. Number one, Blue Box World Separate Chroma. I get asked this a lot. Chet, how can I, you know, I've seen it, I've heard it, I maybe saw it in a tutorial years ago, I saw it in a workshop, whatever, but I still would like help with this. So I'm going to show you this here. Here we have a video of a nice placid video. This is a park not far from my house, the Marin County Civic Center Park. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the green colors out of this scene. So what I'm going to do is not push the wrong button, which I'm doing there. And let's do another tip. We'll throw in another tip here. Somebody should be keeping track of the number of tips, eh? I want to get rid of this screen here. Okay. By the way, this is new in the Bogart V4 version that we have the peak meter come on screen. So right now you're looking at my S4000 Pro running the Casablanca Bogart 4.1G. I'm going to come over here to System Settings screen, left click on System Settings screen, then come over here to the Record Playback button, left click there, and it's odd in some ways. The developers kind of hid presentation options under this screen. I don't know where I would have put it, to be honest with you, either, but it's kind of hidden. So left click on presentation options, and we get rid of the play counter. Okay, that's that thing that the beast, the demon that was rearing its ugly head when we were playing back that clip. It's nice to have when you want it, but when you don't, go away. All right, so we have a scene selected here. What we're going to do is we're going to separate the chroma, separate the color, take out the color. So we left click on the special button, and what we do is we find BB for Blue Box, okay? BB Blue Box, separate chroma. This tip works on both the Bogart OS and the SmartEdit version, assuming that you have the Blue Box software here, okay? Let's see, someone reports that their audio is gone, and I've got audio here. My indicators in the audio should be fine. So that may come and go in the wonderful world of the internet. So, all right. What we're going to do is almost any time I work inside the special menu, I love to use the full size menu. So we left click on this full size button here, and it shows our screen full size. Okay, so here's the original. You can see the colors there, okay, all the colors in their glory. And we're going to take out, we're going to subtract, we're going to mute the greens. So what we have to do here, and let me adjust this so it's, you know, on the display, okay, change this to effect, okay, and there's the effect. Now, so we have subtracted, we have muted not only the green color, we've muted everything. So what we want to do is we want to choose our color. So when you go to this pick picker, this color picker in this case. Left click on color choice, left click on position. Position it over something green. And then adjust the size here, the left and right. This represents down here the size. This represents the number of pixels of your picker, okay? So let's do, in this case, let's do a 4x4. Oh, you can see why I was not a brain surgeon. Let's do a 22x16. How about that? Yep, okay. So now we've selected the color, but the next thing we want to do is we want to adjust the color span, okay? And the color span is this slider. And now when I move this slider down to the left, and let me quickly tell you what this is. Saturation 1. This is the amount of color for the color you have picked, in this case green. Okay, how much color, how much green do we want? We want 0 green. How much regular color? Well, we could oversaturate it at 200%, or we can come down at the normal rating. The 100% is going to be where the color is naturally. So that's the natural color. But I want the audience to just go, whoa, that's really cool. Okay? I want to see, I really want those colors to be vivid. Okay? So someone's asking which are you using. I'm actually using Blue Box World. This function is not available in the regular Blue Box. This is Blue Box World. So I'm going to oversaturate that. I'm going to go up to 150%, 150, to make those colors just pop. Okay? So now I have the color on this building, and what's nice is I've got the reflection on the pond. Isn't that cool? And then I have some blue sky and this brown of the hills, the California Golden Hills in the summer. There's like a school bus or something over here. So it's a really cool effect. Again, that's Blue Box, BB World Separate Chroma. When you left click OK, you left click OK, it'll go ahead and render that scene. But we have a short amount of time today. We're not going to do that particular scene. All right, on to the next tip. What I'm going to show you now is how to do a couple different things. First, I'm going to go to my original scene. The original scene right here is kind of a cool shot. I took this last fall. This is the fog rolling in over the hills, what they call the Marin headlights, just north of the Golden Gate Bridge near San Francisco. Now, I tried this effect when I was planning this webinar, and it's really cool except for one thing, okay? And that thing is this right here, okay? When I play back the clip, I thought I got rid of that playhead. See this tree? This tree gets in the way, okay? And here's what I mean by gets in the way. When I try the effect, and the effect we're going to use here, by the way, is called mirror. And mirror, or mirror if you prefer to use that, okay? Mirror is found, oops, not line art chat, mirror, okay? Mirror is in the OS. It's in the operating system. That's cool. Somebody else says they're not seeing the Casablanca screen. I'm seeing the Casablanca screen on both my monitors. Somebody give me a quick confirmation. Everybody else seeing the Casablanca screen? Yep, see it here, see it here. Okay, everything's good on my side. Yeah, it might be, Mike, that your system, your ISP's froze up on you. I don't know. All right, so onward and upward. When I try the mirror effect here, okay, what's going to happen is almost anything. See how what I've got is horizontal, left and left, so it takes part of the scene and mirrors it like a Rorschach painting. Okay, it's a really cool effect. But I don't like that the trees are in the effect. I want to get rid of them. So this is a double play. What we're going to do is we're going to come down here under the special menu, scroll all the way down to the bottom. We see the zoom effect. Zoom is in the operating system. It's included on your system. It is compatible with both the Bogart and the Smart Edit operating systems. We left click over here on position size, and you can see that I've kind of pre-done my work here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take or select the part of the scene minus the tree down below. Okay? Now you can't, someone might say, and this is sort of a logical question, well, Chet, what if you want the fog over here but you don't want that tree? Can't you stretch your selector over to the side? No, because it has to maintain the correct aspect ratio. It has to maintain the 16:9 in this case. If you're in a 4:3 project, it maintains the 4:3 aspect ratio. It has to maintain that screen size, the correct proportion. and if I scroll it over there, then it's not going to fit on in my presentation screen because it's the wrong aspect ratio. Okay, so do I use this a lot? No, I use this very little. Why? Good question. I'm glad you asked that. It's because if you zoom a good portion, it really does affect the image quality, the resolution. Because, you know, was it Stephen Hawkins or somebody said, there's no such thing as a free lunch in the physical universe. You can't get something out of nothing. So I can't zoom in and say, okay, smaller pixel size screen, get larger and be pretty. It won't be pretty, okay, because it's magnifying each of those pixels. So, okay, done with that. We left click OK, and what we end up with is this shot here. And you can see the tree is no longer in our scene. So what we used is the zoom effect to crop out something. And it works okay here. If it was people, if it was lettering, if it was something else, it probably would be less than desirable. So I take that, then I left click over here under special, and we select the mirror effect. Okay, we'll try the horizontal left and left. Actually, horizontal and vertical both kind of work cool. So, and this is new in Bogart V4 version right here. There's a little preview button right inside the operator, which is pretty cool. So we can show the effect and see how the fog's pouring in from both sides now. Isn't that cool? So that's the mirror. It makes a neat kind of a title screen. Okay, and the other option here is to go horizontal right. So that's kind of just a weird version. It's the fog's like coming out of the middle and pouring. You know, the fog's coming from that side, which is not okay. And then you've got the vertical top to bottom, which just kind of, it looks like it's almost like it's a foggy lake, but it's the blue sky is reflected down from the blue sky. Okay, so neat kind of a, you can make a kind of a creative and cool title screen with that there. Okay, we're going to pop over now to my Renomate Plus, and let's see, get those questions in. I've got 1 or 2 questions here. Let's see, I have a question here, somebody, how to eliminate or reduce wind noise in the audio. I'll be happy to adjust that. Can you import music on a USB stick? And then somebody had a question on the flip video camera. We'll get to those 3. We'll add them to our repertoire as well. Okay, what we're looking at now is my Casablanca Renomate Plus, and this is running the operating system version smarted at 9.1. And what we have here is this is a project that is 10 and 1/2 hours long. 10 and 1/2 hours long inside the storyboard. So I'm often asked that as well, Chet. How much time can you fit in one? How much time can you fit in a storyboard or a project? Well, this particular one, you've got 10 and 1/2 hours of story time. Let's just poll the audience here. What's the longest project you've ever put inside inside your Casablanca? Okay, and while we're doing that, let's do a little poll here. Go ahead and click on the box or boxes that are appropriate for you, please. It's time for a poll. Okay, go ahead and click in the box. Which Casablanca system do you have in your possession that you regularly use? No fair if it's in a box in the shelf. Okay, so if you got a Casablanca Classic, you know, it's put away. But if you use it from time to time, let's go ahead and check mark that. 83% of the folks have voted. Come on, quick, vote now. Your time to be part of this democratic movement is at hand. All right. You know what? I should click too, huh? Because I have a Renomate Plus. Oh, it's not going to let me click because I'm an organizer. Oh, I don't get to be included. What's that? All right. We're closing the poll in 3, 2, 1. Poll is closed. Let's share the results so we can see the number of folks here today, and pretty dominantly the Solitaire Renomate Plus group. So kind of neat to see, huh? Yeah, Chet, pay attention to the other one. It's such a light color, it's hard to see on my computer monitor. Actually, 57% this morning on the S4000, 4000 Pro, S2000, and 4100. I didn't put the SL1000 because I don't think that's released. I know it's not released in the U.S., and I don't think it is over as well. So let's see. Whoa, somebody said 2-hour industrial training program is the longest they've had, and they've got a bunch of Z's after it. Whoa, Lowell Brockway, 8 hours for a show choir. Several other people saying 2 hours, 2 hours. So, okay. 4-hour recital. Ooh, that's a long one. Okay. 4 hours of a dance recital. All right. So here we are. We're looking at this this long. That quick tip here. How do you know how long your project is? Yeah, we could go back here to the project settings, okay, under the information button, and it tells us the length of the storyboard. The other cool thing here, it tells us how many scenes are in the scene bin, okay, and then how many effects we have in the storyboard. Sorry, this is how many scenes there are in the storyboard. This is how many scenes there are in the scene bin, okay. So I have 425 scenes in the scene bin, but 297 of them are employed in the storyboard. And there's 22 audio samples, 22 audio samples, okay? The easiest way under ladder operating systems, and this is both SmartEdit and Bogart, is to use this tiny little eye up here underneath the storyboard. It tells us the length, okay? So our whole storyboard is 656 minutes, 36 seconds, and 12 frames, okay? So that's the a nice little indicator, okay? And if you want to do this too, let's do this. See how I've got my intro? I've got this little title for the intro. We're going to show you how I made that title in a second here. And here's the title for the next segment, the next part of my tutorial. Well, if I want to know how long it is from the beginning up to here, this is a really cool button. The I button shows me, okay, the position is 3 minutes, 1 second, 14 frames. That means right here at the very beginning of this scene inside the workbox, from the beginning of the storyboard till here is 3 minutes, 1 second, and 14 frames. From the very beginning of the scene all the way to the back, okay, the time remaining, 653 minutes and 34 seconds. Woo, okay? Yikes. So a good question some people ask is, Chet, how do I know how long a segment is? Like if you want to, this is the section, by the way, this is my newest tutorial DVD called Bogart V4 Intensive. It's a 6-disc set, 6 DVDs, 10.5 hours instruction. I see we have several of my friends and colleagues in the UK joining us. Welcome. Good to have you. It's 3 p.m. in the afternoon over there. Martin Dalby at Dalco UK. The discs are on the way to him. He should have them shortly. I saw he promoted that this morning. So if you're in the UK, you can purchase your Casablanca Expert DVDs from Martin at Dalco UK. So if I want to know how long the next segment is here, from the system settings all the way over here to the kind of orientation. Oh, you know what? That's not system settings. That's system setup, where I go through how to hook up all your cables, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a couple ways to do it. In the finish window, I believe the easiest way to do it is image processing. Left-click on image processing. In a scene function, I'm going to pretend I'm going to make a scene of something, okay? And it will start at the beginning of this scene. I left-click, range is already selected, I left-click, okay? And then I just take the out button, and what I'm doing is I'm scrolling my trackball to the right. One-handed trackball operation. Ooh, one hand in the trackball, the other hand a cup of coffee. Is this guy good or what? All right, he's modest too. As I scroll all the way over here, the next scene is orientation. So what I do is I'm scrolling, again, with the trackball to the right, and when I get to the very first frame, if I want to be precise, I'm just going to use these arrows down here. Left, 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 left. I'm left-clicking the out button till it comes all the way to the very beginning of that scene. Actually, to the end of the last scene, which is video black. Okay? There's the end of the last scene. And it tells me that that segment, that chunk, that part of my storyboard is 15 minutes, 39 seconds, and 14 frames. Okay? 15 minutes, 39 seconds, and 14 frames. So I right-click out of that because I really don't want to make a scene of it. I was just using the scene function to kind of get a range of time. Okay? Isn't that cool? Neat way to do that. All right. So we pop back over here, and what I've got is this scene here. From time to time, I get asked this by people as well. Chet, I've got something on screen, whether it's a group photo, maybe it's a person I want to identify, or maybe it's a corporate industrial training video. For example, this guy's showing us the connectors, the parts of electrical components, and show me the ways that I can identify that I can highlight something. Okay, there's a couple different ways. I'm going to start down here inside the scene bin, and then we're going to show one way up inside the storyboard using the title function. But I'm going to come down here. I've got this clip in the scene bin. I left-click on the special, okay, and I might choose to use something called a hotspot. Okay, and hotspot. By the way, another quick tip here. How do you know which software is available on in which package? Like if my friend has it and I saw it over at his or her Casablanca and I want it on mine, left-click on this I button for information, and then left-click on this button here. Okay, and what you have is right here, Effects Collection 7. Okay, but there is another way for you to know, and it's a brand new method, and it's one of my gifts to the community on this my 3rd anniversary. I have created something called the Casablanca Special Image Processing Effects List. Now what this has is it's a 4-page PDF document, and what it has in this column here under Effect Name, it has every effect found under the Special or Image Processing List found in the Casablanca Smart Edit and Casablanca Bogart system. Okay, and so for example, if I want hotspot, I just scroll down to hotspot. There's hotspot, and I can see here it's part of Effects Pack 7. Okay, at the end of today's session, I'll show you where you go on my website. This is free to the public. You can download this and have this print this out on your computer, and it's just a cool little. I think it's a nice little thing to have around. So you'll be able to identify. You know, which effect belongs with which thing without having to go into this menu. So this is Effects Pack 7. Okay, remember, like I suggested, anytime I'm in the special menu, go to left-click on full size. So we have a full-size view, and you can see we already have a little circle there. So that's what this does. First, we do position, okay, and see how we there. You may be able to see it on the webcam. It's this little rectangle. It's very similar to the little icon we had. Over there, the little pick in the blue box world. If I wanted to highlight this, okay, this which is the DVI connector, I would move this. You'd think you'd move it dead center, but there's an odd thing going on with the in the Casablanca in this menu in particular. Just trust me, I've learned it. You got to go kind of in the upper left corner and left-click OK. See how it almost precisely has that circle? Okay, and then the radius is the size of that circle. So if you go to the right and a larger percent, the circle gets bigger. Okay, if I want to just highlight that connector, I'm going to go right about 30% in this case. And the blur, when I adjust the blur, it's the softness of the edge around that outside of that circle. So if I set it right at 0, it's a hard edge blur. If I want it a little bit more diffused, it's a little bit classier in my mind, but it depends on what you're doing, you know. There's 10% blur. And this fade time determines, oops, I meant to do this, determines at what percentage it's going to fade in. Now this small screen preview, you're like, holy moly, Andy, look, it's way off. Ignore it. I know it's hard. Why would you have a preview function that doesn't show the correct spot? That is an excellent question if we ever get the developers sit down in a room with them, you know. But it doesn't work. Don't worry about it. Click OK, and now the scene is rendering, and see how it's identified. So this hotspot, again, which is part of, I think it was Effects Pack 6, is great for identifying an item, like in this case, you know, some piece of technology. It's also a cool way to pull out an individual, okay? A specific individual. All right. So that's one way to do it. Let me show you the other way that I do it inside my titler. I go up here to titling, and I want to do the same thing up inside the storyboard. And because I'm using the titler, that scene has to be up inside the storyboard. Now, if I want this effect to fade on and fade off, I could select fading box or through fading pages, any of those things. As I recommend when we work in the titler, this is a tip, but it's a tiny tip. Always add the text first before you come down to enter edit text. Always, always, always. Don't ask why. Just always do it, okay? I'll be looking over your shoulder next time you use the titler. You better do it right. add the title first before you come down here to edit text. You'll avoid the dreaded demo title. Okay, so I've got this text in here, and I want to get rid of that. So I click on boxes, and I left-click delete. I always check. Here's another quick tip. I always left-click on pages. Oh, see, I've got that. I might have made this cool title and thought everything was fine, but then when I rendered it, look what else is here. There's more titles. Okay, what do you mean, Chet? Okay, let me show you what I mean. I'm going to click graphics. I'm going to add a graphics box. Okay, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to select DVD button. Okay, under DVD button, I left-click OK, change type to images, and I have 58 items, including an arrow. Let's select the red arrow. Okay, left-click OK. So now I have this cool red arrow I can point at my thing with. Point at my thing, that sounded weird. Okay. And so now when I preview this, I think, hey, that's perfect. It's going to fade on, and the arrow is going to show my technology over here. Watch when I preview this. Yep, there's the arrow. But remember, I have two other pages. There's page 2. And now there's page 3. Ah, yuck. I didn't want that. So what I have to do, that's another thing to do, is just do a quick preview when you're in the title menu when you're doing stuff like this. Left-click on pages. Come over here to my other pages. Delete. Here's page 2. Delete. So now I make sure I only have page 1. So now when I do a preview, up comes the arrow, okay, showing my little piece of technology. Now it's very easy for me to to adjust that. I want to move it up a little bit more. So what I do is I left-click on boxes, left-click on move, and then I can scroll it over here. Okay. So gee, we're packed in a couple tips there. Okay, let's pack in another quick tip. Chet, what if you want the arrow to come from the other side? Okay, let's do that. Now this is what we call a graphics box. Okay, and this is available for both Smart Edit and Bogart versions. Okay. So when I left-click on graphics, and it opens up graphics. Okay, somebody said they just lost sound, but I got sound loud and clear over here. It might be that your internet service provider is kind of stalled for a moment. Again, this session will be in the archives for folks to view later or review later. So what we've done is we've selected a graphic item. Okay, so we already have a graphics box. We don't have to add the graphic box. Now, if this button is unchecked, there's no check mark, no tick mark here, you can see the graphic becomes transparent. Why? Because that's where I would put a title if I wanted to put a title. You can do the same exact thing I'm doing inside of a title box. I just chose a graphic box because to me it's quicker and easier. Here's why. If I go to add, use my title box here, okay, and type inside of there, okay. A lot of times when you come into a title box, there'll be text in there. When you come right into a screen, let me show you what I mean. Remove that. Okay. I'm going to use a fading box. I add and we go in. Okay. See, there's text inside the graphic box, so I have to delete that text. I think it's easier myself to just delete the box. Okay. And now there's the pages again, so let's check them out. Delete, delete. Graphics. Check mark here. Now, I have this green opaque stuff. What I have to do is choose what that is. So we want this button here. Okay. Whoa, we have a big arrow. How come? What we want to do is change the size of that. Okay. And the easiest way is up here in the right corner. Okay. We want the original size, the original graphic. See that? The original graphic size. Now, how you make it flip from the other way. See how the arrows are all pointing to the left? If you want them to point to the right, that's what this is for right here. Sorry, not that. This little guy. If I choose the second option down, it moves the arrow to the other side. Now I can come over here to the box options, left-click on Move. We should do this here. Boxes, extended, min size. Ooh, it's getting all funky monkey on me, isn't it? Now I can move that baby over. Okay, and now when I do fading pages, it's going to show me The arrow pointing right where I want it. Okay, quick tip next. The scene is 10 seconds and 16 frames long. 10 seconds, 16 frames long. How can I show that arrow only on a portion of the scene? Okay, left click on this button right here, the range function. Okay, and instead of complete scene, because by default the Casablanca titler always puts the title over the whole scene. Left click on range, left click OK, and now we're going to adjust this trim button. Move it out of the way. We're going to adjust this trim button. Maybe I only want the arrow to show when I'm pointing. So what I've done is I've left click on the IN button and I'm scrolling to the right. Okay, my finger is pointing. And then I left click on the out button. And I'm going to scroll here. Keep watching at the time here. It's 5 seconds long. Let's go to a full 6 seconds. Okay, it's 6:01. There, 6 seconds precisely using the little in-out arrow. I left click on title, and now the arrow only comes on during that 6 seconds. So that's the range function. Okay. So a colleague is asking, are these DVD graphics available if you don't have Arabesque? The answer is no. These are installed when Arabesque is installed. Okay, I'm going to show you where they are. Left click on System Settings, left click on Install Product. When you install the DVD Arabesque software, okay, it automatically installs these other components, and there's a couple of them actually. Again, what we're talking about here, when I go to the graphics function and choose the background, what it opens up is the Casablanca image pool. Okay. Now, there are some other items. I'm just trying to think of another one that would work. No, there's some weird ones. I shouldn't say there's no other images, but like Twin X Vacation, and you're going to get into odd. You know, there's all kinds of little doodads that are basically. If you have the Twin X Vacation, by the way, this is only Bogart compatible. I could have an aeroplane or a pair of flip-flops pointing to my thing, but no kind of regular graphics. And to be honest with you, everybody that has a contemporary Casablanca will have this. Okay, this is as long as you've got Arabesque 4. I don't believe in Arabesque 3 you're going to see these. Okay, I don't believe in Arabesque 3 you're going to see these. Symbol packs, good question. Symbol packs. The symbol packs are not available using this function, the graphics function. Excellent question. Great suggestion, though, Craig. Let's show that real quick in case somebody has that. So we're going to make this graphics box go away. I can't delete it. Okay, what we do is we make it transparent. So come up here and remove the check mark, and it goes away. Okay, so we still have one box. Okay, and we could select. In the font, we could select one of the symbol packs. So let's scroll down here. I don't use the symbol packs that much. Okay? And the symbol packs are identified by the cute little smiley face. Anybody use the symbol packs enough to tell me where you might? Oh, okay, we can try this. Okay, and it doesn't use the keyboard. It actually just kind of uses this. Here's sort of an arrow. There we go. A very kind of almost like a chevron. Okay, now we can move that. Excellent thinking outside of the box, Mr. Newman. Well done, sir. Someone's asking, is this in Title Studio? No, this is in the regular titler. This is in the regular titler. Okay. Actually, a couple people had suggested this, so well done. Yep. So there's a couple of, those are add-on products, by the way. Those are not included. Those are symbol font packs. And again, how they work is under the title menu, you select font, you select one of them, okay, and you click OK, and then opens up this little mini screen here, and you can see these are actually very cool if you, you know, if it's something you want. So here's an arrow facing the wrong direction, Mr. Davis. So, all right, okay. So there's something cool we can do inside the titler. Let's see. While we're here in the titler, let me show you one other tip that I think is pretty cool. Here's my introduction. Let me just show you. So what you see is What you see is what you get. Who remembers that? Remember Geraldine Wilson, the Flip Wilson show? Okay, I'm dating myself. So I'll show you first how to create this cool background and then how to add the titles. Okay, you'll notice that my titles, and maybe it's a little bit fuzzy on the webcam, the titles are very much color coded, very complementary to the scene itself. And there's 3 different colors, and I selected each of them from this scene so they perfectly match what we've got going on here. Okay. Now the effect I'm using is from the Title Effects Pack 3. I believe it's Small Moves. All right, let's show you how we did that real quick. First of all, how'd you create this pattern? Okay, this is part of the Digital Hotcakes series. You can make it one of 2 ways here. Sorry, not Digital Hotcakes. It's part of the Border X movement. Okay, in fact, Border X 2. Okay, Border X is one of my favorite add-on products. This is the Border X 2, which is a separate program. Okay, and if I launch it under Special, it's going to put it inside of the scene. Chet, what do you mean? Let me show you what I mean. If I have a shot of, well, let's show Mr. Davis here. Okay, if I come down here to Border X2, selecting Border X2, okay, left-click on Select Border. Make sure it shows Border X2 up inside the product type. You have 100 masks graphics to use. Okay, I want you to go down to the very bottom left. It's border number 098, number 98. Okay, anytime you use Border X, be careful to make sure that this is unchecked unless you really like it. Okay, and you see what it brings up? It brings up this cool little graphic. I left-click OK, I left-click OK, and you can see that Mr. Chet is now put inside that box. If I wanted him to be put in regularly normally, I would select Reduce Size. And now Mr. Davis fits inside there. It takes the whole scene and puts it inside the graphic. Not inside the graphic, it puts it in the scene, and most of the graphics will match up with it perfectly. Border X2 is one of my favorite. This is a really cool effect because you have an alpha channel, you have transparency back in here. It just looks extra cool. But if I want that over a black background, as you see here to make a title background, any of the Border X masks can be created in the background. Over here, under New, left-click on New. Left-click down here on Pattern. Select Pattern, open up the Select Pattern menu. Come down here and select the product you want. Okay? And I'm going to select Border X2. Left-click OK. Scroll down the bottom left corner. We have border number 098. We left-click OK. Select the duration, the length of your title scene. And always, when you're making this stuff up, when you're making these backgrounds, these scenes, remember, more is more. More is more. Make it longer than you want it. It's so much easier to trim it over in the Edit menu than it is to come back in here and make it longer. So if you think it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be 15 or 20 seconds, make it 30. Okay? And left-click OK, and we now have a 30-second long clip or scene that has that background graphic. That's my webcam doing a focus thing. Don't worry about that. Woo! What's up with that? Webcam. Woohoo! Okay. Funny things, maybe not really funny, but the interesting thing with a webcam is that, there we go. Oh, it didn't like those colors. Interesting, the autofocus. There's no focus rate. So I know I'm working with a bunch of video producers today. They're like, Chet, adjust your focus. You can't on a webcam. It's a fixed focus. So, all right. So now I want a 12-second long title. Well, just click the in or out and scroll it down to 12 seconds. Okay. There, I've got a 12-second long. Put that up inside the storyboard. Now we can come to the title menu. Let's use let's do Wild Effects Small Moves. Add that to the storyboard. Always add it to the storyboard before you come down here to enter edit text. Okay. And we say we want to put type Casablanca Expert in here. Now let's do something here. Yeah, let's do Casablanca Expert because I got half of it done. How's that for lazy bones? Actually, I'm just trying to save you time. How's that? You believe that? All right. So, Casablanca Expert. I want to make a cool style here. First, select a font. I want a big font. Okay, I want a font that just kind of sticks out. Okay. So we could go to the old classics, you know, the David. Well, let's use this, Meduse EFN. And I want it bigger than that, though. Please, come on. I want it to kind of fill up the scene. Casablanca Expert. So I'm going to work on just this one line, then we'll copy the font to all. That's another quick tip as well. So come over here under Style. Okay, I want the interior color. And to do this, what we do is we left-click on Color. We left-click on Pick Color. Okay, there's that little box we used earlier today. Okay, if I want the main color to be the yellow or the gold, we're going to move this over the yellow here. Left-click OK, left-click OK. I like adding a little bit of transparency. I think it's a cool thing to do to almost all my titles. I'm going to come down to 80%. So the interior is transparent. Then what I'm going to do is I want to take this kind of, I don't know what you call that color, green, puce, I don't know. We're going to put that around the edge, the border. So we left-click on Color Pattern. Okay. We left-click on Colorize. We left-click on Pick Color. There's that Pick Color again. Okay. Except this time, what I've done is I'm moving the selector over here to select that greenish tint. We left-click OK. And we're going to leave this up 100%. Left-click OK. Wait for it to show up here. We left-click OK. Last color is the shadow. Okay. The shadow nose. Left-click down here on Color. Left-click on Pick Color. So get familiar with your pick color. Your pick color can be one of your best friends. Left-click on Position, and let's move that over that red edge. Okay, I'm over here in the bottom left corner, and what I've done is I've moved my positioner right over that red color. Okay, and watch your little color swatch here. Okay, because you may think, your eyeball might think you're right, but if you're too far to one side or the other, it's going to pick between colors. See how it mutes the color because it's selecting this background over here. Just select the color, 100% color. There we go. Left-click OK. Left-click OK. Left-click OK. So what we've done is really cool. We've taken the colors. Oh, thank you, Beth. Beth suggests that's aqua. There you go. Now I feel like I need a 128 box of Crayola crayons to remember all my color names here. So that's kind of cool. It almost looks extruded, you know, like it's a 3D look. So we've got a cool title that matches a 3-color background. We want to copy that onto all. So let's make this another quick tip here. With the cursor sitting on the line that we want all the other text to look like on screen, left-click on Boxes, left-click on Extended, left-click, we're going to do this 2 times, copy Font to all lines. So they both have the same font and same size. Then again, visit with me, left-click on Extended, left-click on Copy Style to all lines. Isn't that cool? Then we're going to go ahead and click the Move button. Oh, well, here's another quick tip. What I like to do is click Extended and Min Size, minimum size. See what that does? It squishes the box down so it's only on the text. To me, that's much easier because now when I left-click on Move, I can position it and I can eyeball more clearly a perfectly centered title. Okay, and now we come out here and we got this beautiful looking title screen. Woo! Wow, we are good. G-O-O-D, good. Oh, what's happening here, people? You know what's happening, don't you? Yep, that's why we do the preview thing. Come over here to Pages, go to that 3rd page, delete, 2nd page, delete, page 1 of 1, page 1 of 1. Let's make sure, do our preview. There it is. Watch that go away. Okay. Good. All righty. I have, oh, let's see, I've got what, 3 more to share here, and then we've got, let's go through your questions here. Let's see. Let's see. Howard King says Columbus. Is there a question in Columbus in particular, Howard? I'm happy to show you. Maybe like how to switch head objects in the middle of a path. Let's see. We answered that question. Is there a way to adjust the image inside of a border frame or adjust the chosen frame itself? And Beth, let me do that one. That's a good one. So let's say we've got this talking head of this attractive, svelte guy here. Tried to think of something else, but I couldn't think of anything else that was polite conversation. So, and I'm going to pick a border that it doesn't really fit. Okay, so let's go to border X2, And let's do something pretty weird. Well, this is pretty weird. This will work. You know, I'm sure there's some place that'll work, but okay. See how I'm off center, and it's cutting off my head. It's rather uncomfortable, frankly, if you ask. Okay. Here's what I would do if I absolutely positively had to have this mask, this graphic, and I wanted me to be more centered in there. Okay. What I would do is I'd come over here, left click on news, pattern selected, left click on select pattern, select that beautiful saw pattern, left click OK, even to the point of doing like, let's do, how long is this scene? I'd do this as long as this scene is. Left click OK. Okay. This is a little bit of a workaround, but it's what I would do to make it exactly correct. Left click on add. So I'm adding that behind there. Some of you see where this is going. I'm going to do a picture-in-picture. Doesn't have to be picture-in-picture studio, just regular old picture-in-picture. Okay? I'm in the transition menu now. Let me show you where I'm at. Transition menu, because I've got two scenes up inside the storyboard. I know one's longer than the other. That doesn't matter. Stay with me now. And I'm going to select picture-in-picture. If I'm going too fast, that's okay. You can watch this in slow motion later on. I left-click Add. We adjust the length of time. It's 7:24. Left-click OK. Go to full size. And now I'm going to position the pip and adjust the size. Let's position Mr. Chet here. So, get rid of that border, man, and the shadow. No border. There are two things we want to watch for. One, we want to kind of eyeball it so we see that my head is in the right space. You kind of have to, you see, we're kind of imagining where that saw is, and we want to avoid this. Avoid seeing the color black, because that's the scene it'll bleed through. Okay? So what I want to do is position, okay, the size, make sure the dotted lines cover up entirely that black space. There's no black space outside of those dashed lines. Zero black space. Okay? Let's again take a look at that full size. Oh, how come I did that? Okay? So all I've done really is I've scooted myself a little bit. I shot this with the talent screen right. Okay? And I want to scoot him over a little bit more. Okay? Now, how do I know exactly where I'm at? I could click position, okay, and size and move it over a little bit more even, but not much more because it's butting up against this side of the frame. That's about as far as I'm going to be able to get. Okay, left click OK, and what I would do is I'd create or render that. Now I'm going to do scene. This is another quick tip. Effect only. Okay, I only want the part of the scene that I'm involved with. So I left click OK, and it's rendering that. So it's laying that on top of my scene. Okay? So we come back here and see how now it's me on top of that graphic. Then we do the same exact thing. Left click on special, select border X2. It's already selected. I don't have to go in here, but I'm just going to show you because it's the way to show you. See that? Now we've kind of moved over our talent to fit inside. I got that saw blade cutting in my head, and it's kind of a little discomforting. So I really, to use this, you really had to use the scene and this border. What I'd have to do is I'd have to go use zoom, but then it's going to affect my image quality, you know. So one of our colleagues is asking, so Chet, it looked to me like you had a different in and out separately. Yes, in Title Effects Track 3 in particular. There's a couple that have them, but what you have is the motion path. You have in this particular function, I've got 9 different paths for the title to come in, and those same 9 in the out, but I can select number 3 for in and number 6 for out, for example. So it shows the titles spinning in, and when they go out, they're going to go out using a different. Excellent suggestion. We have another suggestion from a colleague. I was going to show you the move rectangle function in a different capacity, but Nancy, well done, well done. Let's do this here. Another way, instead of using picture-in-picture, we're going to use Blue Box World again. Come up here to Transitions and select BB Copy Rectangle. Okay? From the source area, what we do is we select that part of our video. Going to be kind of tricky because we want to, but excellent suggestion. Okay? So instead of cropping, I am cropping, but I'm not having to use the zoom function to cut it out. Okay? So I left-click OK. Then I come over here to Destination Area. And then I left-click OK. And I'm going to put that, see that rectangle represents me. And I left-click OK. And the resulting effect is, oops, I got a little bit of border action. Although that might be the fake preview. It is, well, it's almost. See how it's on the side over here? So I adjusted that. Yeah, I'm a little bit close to the edge. So I'm going to adjust the position a little bit more. And the cool thing about this remedy, suggested by Nancy, is, well, I still have to make a scene of that and lay that in, but that's pretty cool. Okay? Creating the effect much more precise. Great idea, Nancy. Put that down there in the scene bin. It's instantaneous. Now I select that under border X. Okay? Got it. And we look at that full size. And there's Mr. Davis. I'd move it down because now it's cutting in my head in a different part. Okay? Thank you, Nancy. Excellent idea. Excellent idea. Quick. Let's see. Somebody asked about flip video cameras. Flip video cameras is only compatible as far as loading directly into the Casablanca Bogart series. One of our colleagues, Steve, asks, the video loads fine, the audio does not come in. I would ask you, Steve, are you loading via the regular record screen? Okay, if you're loading via the Media Manager, quit it. I'm mostly joking. Okay, what you want to do instead, okay, what you want to do, Steve, is come over here under Recording menu, plug your flip video camera. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. Let's see if it's going to work. See if I can do this. You know what? I'm going to fire up my S3000 while we're waiting here. So never mind. I just turned the, did I turn the unit off? What did I do here? All right, there we go. Okay. My other system's booting up, Steve. While that's booting up, let's get to another question here. Let's see. Somebody asked about, okay, that's the audio for the flip camera. I'm coming back up here. The other questions? Yes, for those of you attending the March get-together, Ken Smithers, the official macro system reseller, will have my tutorial DVDs for sale. They're a very small number on hand. How to eliminate or reduce wind noise in audio. Ooh, that's a tricky one. Tricky. That's a pretty long tutorial. I'm just going to touch on it briefly, okay? The easiest way is to come over here to Audio Recording and Edit menu. And let's say it's audio 2. I'm not gonna. It's like a 10 or 15 minute instruction, but let me give you a highlight, okay? And then I'll show you where the article is on the website. So I select audio number 2. Left click on Special. To employ this inside your Casablanca, you must have Audio Effects Pack. Audio Effects Pack. What you will find is a function called Filter, okay? And the function called filter has 4 different types: low pass, high pass, band stop. Okay? When you see the word pass, what that means is the Casablanca is allowing that specific frequency or range of frequencies through to the audience. When you see stop, okay, in this case, and then you have a range of frequencies. So if you've got wind noise, it's going to be pretty tricky in the Casablanca to do that. It's very limited for that particular function. I've got another quick recommendation for you. But first, if you had an offending noise, maybe it's a higher frequency sound. Now, wind noise can be 2 different frequencies. There's the hiss, which is a higher frequency, that kind of noise. And then the other unfortunate side effect, especially if it hits your microphone, if your microphone is less protected without a windsock, then you have a rumble like a, okay, that's not exactly it, but it's kind of like that. and that's a low frequency sound. So you got to get rid of both frequencies, which is a problem. If I had a specific frequency that I knew was an issue, like a really low frequency sound, okay, what I would do first is I would do band pass with pre-listen on, and it will play back that sound frequency as it's doing right now. I know you're not hearing it. Leave the intensity up to 100%, and if I'm only hearing the sound that's the offensive sound, then I know I've found the specific frequency. So that's how you isolate and identify a specific frequency. And you keep moving the Hertz meter. What you might want to do is bring this intensity down if you think it's a lower sound. And what that does is it dials in the sound, not only the specific sound at 289 Hertz, but the sounds next to it on both sides, plus or minus. Okay? And then once you get closer, you do 100% intensity, and if you know you found that offending sound, then instead of band pass, you do band stop. And what it does is it stops like a gate. It stops that one specific frequency. The audience will not hear it. Okay? The easier recommendation is use something. There's software in the PC for both Macintosh and Windows operating systems. One of them is called Sound Soap. The other one is called Audacity. Sound Soap is a minor expense, I believe. Audacity is free. They have some very sophisticated audio functions. Among them, the ability to click on a part of your sound sample that's good, that doesn't have the offending audio, and say, and then click on the audio section that has the offensive audio, and say, take this audio over here that doesn't have that thumping, and remove the frequency or frequencies that are in the undesirable sound. Okay? Alrighty. Oh my gosh, it's 8 o'clock, but we started at like 8:03, so we're going to go a couple minutes here, and then we'll stay close to our time. So that's the audio function. All right, Steve, let me show you. Make sure you flip video, any other kind of videos that you're loading. If you're using flash drives on contemporary cameras, AVC HD cameras, etc., let's fire up we're switching over to a different monitor. We're looking at my S3000. What you want to do before you try to import any of that video is make sure you have the proper aspect ratio set up here under format. So this is my old flip video at 720 by 480 and 4 by 3 aspect ratio, and it's probably progressive, to be honest with you. All right. So what we want to do is come over here under recording, okay, and left click on the USB icon, and what shows up is my flip video camera. Okay, don't do this in Media Manager. Try right inside of your record menu. So you left click on a scene, as you see that I've got here, and there's a check mark over here, and left click OK, and it will begin importing that scene, audio and video together. If you're trying to bring it in via the Media Manager, it is possible. Sometimes it's just not compatible, it won't read, and other times there are issues with the audio. Thank you, Beth, for that. Beth says 19 tips and counting. Woohoo! Excellent. Thank you for that. I felt like I was under-delivering. All right. And there's our scene over there. Okay, there's our scene now inside of the scene bin. And to show you that it does in fact have audio, I turned on the audio scrub function. As we scroll through, you are seeing audio inside of the scene. All right. Well, my goodness, golly gosh, you know what, I've got, let's see, let me make sure if there's a question somebody else had. I want to make sure I got to it here. I had another one I was going to show you in Candy Factory and how to create a moving lower third screen in Aqaba. I'm going to save that for this evening, I think. It'll be in the recording if you can't attend live. Let me make sure that somebody didn't ask a question that I didn't cover. And Howard, I wasn't sure what you want in Columbus. Shoot me a message, and I'll make sure I follow up with that either individually or in person. And I want to show you a couple of things that are on my website too that I think that are free and accessible right now. So I think we've gotten through the ones that. No, let's see. Jim had a question too. Let's see. Where'd it go? Can you import music on a USB stick? Only in the Bogart OS, okay? What format does it need to be? MP3 or WAV, and you actually have to do that through the Media Manager, okay? So you'd have to left-click on Media Manager over here. You insert your USB stick in. It's kind of an odd path, but this is how you would do it, okay? You come over here to the audio or the music archives. Oops, I know you're not seeing it. Hold on, hold on. There we go. So I'm inside the Media Manager, okay? You actually launch the music archives, okay? Then you come down here to import. You left-click on import. Then you select where it is, USB, okay? Right now I've got flip video, so it's not going to show up as a music import. And then you move, by clicking OK, you've moved that scene or that audio element from this menu over here to the selected menu and left-click the import button. I do have that step-by-step tutorial on my website. Shoot me an email if you want me to send it right to you, okay? How to get to the Media Manager screen on the monitor, not the Bogart screen. Let me make sure I understand the question. How do you get the Media Manager screen on the monitor, not the Bogart screen? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you missed that step. Okay, so here I am inside the, he says, Bogart Smart Edit. Okay, to get to the Media Manager, you left-click on Media Manager. Okay, what you have to do, oh, that's right. I think Nancy, we're talking the other day. You need the emergency monitor switch. Okay, send me an email, Nancy. I'm sorry about that. Send me an email, and I'll show you the emergency monitor switch. Long story short is this. If you're on the Bogart system, the emergency monitor switch is your next best friend. Okay, tiny interior buttons, left and right, will allow you to switch the monitor output even when you don't have a monitor connected. Okay. Not the machine. All righty. Okay. So couple quick closing comments here. 12. You're welcome. You're free. You're encouraged to join me this evening if you like. And here's what I recommend. Okay. Here's the session for this evening. Even if you know you can't join me, register for it now. Why? Because when the session's uploaded and available, the recording, you'll get an email with it saying, thanks for joining me, or sorry you couldn't join me. You'll find the recording here. Don't be offended. It's just an automatic thing in the system. Okay, that's tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. GMT. So those of you in the UK, thanks for joining me now. You probably won't be here at 3 in the morning. Next Casablanca Expert Members webinar is tomorrow, Thursday at 12 noon. The topic, incorporating audio recorders like the Zoom H4n. Why you'd want to do it and how to do it with your Casablanca. If you're on the Bogart system, I have 3 new tutorial DVD packages. Okay, the Bogart 4 Intensive. More instruction has never been created on the Casablanca for anyone on Casablanca, English-speaking, German-speaking, nobody's done a more thorough tutorial. 10.5 hours of instruction. If you're good with the Casablanca and only want what's new, there's the What's New in Bogart 4. These are available right now in my online store at CasablancaExpert.com. Let me show you one other cool thing. I was going to show you how to get to that new little thingamabobber. You know, the new... let me give you the link here. That 4-page PDF for the effects list. I'm getting the link for you right now, okay? Hang on. So you come here. There we go. So if you're on Smart Edit or on Bogart, this pertains to both of you, okay? Both sides of your personality. Click there and download that puppy. The other cool thing that not many people know about yet is this. It's going to open fully at 12 noon Pacific time today, but you can take a sneak peek in the museum. What I've done is I've gone through the archives of a bunch of stuff I have here around the office in my file cabinets and some boxes, and I've made the beginning of what I call the Casablanca Museum. How cool is that, huh? The Casablanca Museum. What I've got in here, for example, some publications, okay? I've got the original flyer from the Casablanca Classic, okay? Just fun to look at this stuff. I don't know how many of you were around at the time of the Macro Systems storyboard. If you lived in North America and had a Casablanca back in spring of 2002, you would have seen this. Okay, and how's this for history? Back operating system SmartEdit at 1.8. That was before it was even called SmartEdit. Okay, and some other little cool things having to do with the original Casablanca. I have some streaming videos from the very first tutorial DVD. All that stuff's available. You can check it out now, but don't tell anybody yet. Let's keep it a secret between us. Casablanca Museum. This is open to the public, whether you're a website member or not. You're welcome to visit that. And after this afternoon, you're welcome to share it with any of your friends. If you're not a member, consider joining today. $12.99 US per month, $62.35 for 6 months, or a new category, $120 for 12 months. And you know, if you're not sure, sign up for 1 month. And if the resources are not what you expect, let me know in that first month, and I'll refund every penny you spent. I only want happy customers. I only want happy customers, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. The next session tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific time, we'll continue on and share some more tutorials. Have a fantastic day. And for those of you who have been with me, whether it's been a couple months or 3 years of the Casablanca Expert Enterprise, thank you so much for your collaboration, for your continued support. It means the world to me to have friends and colleagues and customers and supporters like you all. I really appreciate your business. I really appreciate your collegiality and your support. Thank you very much. Have a great day now. We had a clarifying question here. When I was showing the switch between a Media Manager and the Bogart OS, it is possible, especially when you do an operating system installation, it is possible for your system to have one monitor display type, for example, HDMI in the regular Bogart editing screen, and have the Media Manager set to a different display like SCART or VGA. And when you switch between them with one monitor, it goes black or blank, and you're like, wait a minute. But right on the front of the unit, it says Macro System, so you know your editor's working. But whenever you go to Media Manager, it goes dark. That's because the Media Manager side is set to display on a different output setting. Again, for example, if I'm in HDMI in my regular editing side, and I switch to Media Manager and it's black, it's probably set to either SCART or VGA. So the Casablanca is doing what it thinks it's supposed to. It gets reverted or changed when you do an operating system installation. So using that emergency monitor switch allows you to kind of kick it back to the normal side. Okay? That's what that's about. Yes, you may, Mr. Mike. Ask away. Because it's you, we'll give you a question extra. Can I mute sound on all my clips in the scene bin? Oh, yes. After I put them in storyboard and mute, can I replace them in the scene bin? Oh, no. Let me, here's a bonus tip for those of you that are still with us after the fact. The recording stopped, so this won't be in the recording. I'll show this tonight, though, okay? And so it'll be on the night's recording, so you can review that later. Let me show you. I'm going to switch back over here to the other side. And let's see if I got something in my storyboard. I need to pick something shorter because a 6.5-hour project will take a little while to render. All right. Now let's go to a project that has a couple things. There we go. I think this has got it. So I got, 3 scenes up inside my storyboard. Let's say I had 5. We'll just add some more and pretend there's, a bunch of stuff. Okay. If I wanted or needed, there's a couple different ways to do it. Okay. Which operating system are you talking about, Mike? Well, I'll show you each of them, actually. There's like 4 different ways to do this on the Bogart. Bogart 4? Mike's on the Bogart. Bogart V4? Yes, okay. You got it easy, man. You got it easy. Okay, going over here to the audio mix menu, here's how you mute all the clips right here. See this button? Done. Okay, they're muted. Everything's muted. Okay, actually, I tricked you. That's the Renome Plus. Okay, so let me switch over to the Bogart. And there we go. Now we're seeing the S4000 Pro. I'll add some more scenes. Okay, it's changed in the Bogart V4 operating system. When I come to Audio Mix now, the same button is here, but when I click on it, watch, it does something different. Okay, in Bogart, I have more options, and this is way cool. I can mute, and now all those clips are muted. But the nice thing is that I like about it, I can lower the volume of all clips at once or increase the volume of all clips at once by doing positive or negative numbers. Now I left click OK, and now you see the icon up here. It shows me there's no little like lines, so there's no volume on those tracks. Okay, and I should create or render that, and it's completed. Okay. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to say goodbye to my son who's off to school. It's my tradition. Alrighty? So that's the easiest way, Mike. Here's the downside, though, is that you cannot now copy those scenes down to the scene bin, because if you do this effect inside of the audio mix menu, then it's impacting the audio mix menu, not the individual clip. If you wanted to mute the individual clip, or clips, I should say, and then bring them down, here's the other way to do that, the other thing you would want to do. Click on a clip, and then with with the power key installed and the keyboard attached, I'm getting my keyboard, okay, which is connected here. How do I know it's connected? I hold down function key F2, and my webcam has gone kaput. Why is that? Okay, function key F2. Now I see that I'm live. All right, come over here to Audio Mix. Now I click or select the first clip here, not the clip, but the audio for that clip, and press Control and the letter M. Control and the letter M. Actually, no, I just press M. Now I want to. M mutes the clip, but Control and M. Why am I missing something on my keyboard here? What it's supposed to do, he says, by pressing Control and M, there it is. Yeah, it works. I just didn't have Control pressed. Control and M, it mutes one audio sample and goes to the next. Then mutes one audio sample and goes to the next. So it will go down the line, mute the audio, go next, mute the audio, go next, mute the audio, go next, mute the audio, go next. What I would have to do now is come over here. Well, first I should render that. Okay. And then come over here. I go to the end of my scene bin. What I choose to do is even put down something like color bars to separate them out. So, you know, it's clear and apart, so it makes it very clear that something's not over there. Then over here under the image processing, click on this scene, create a scene of it down in the scene bin. Okay? And you just click on it, click Scene, OK, OK. Scene, OK, OK. Select the scene, click Scene, OK, OK. Now, when I come over here to my edit bin, there's those clips, the full video, with the audio muted or removed by each one of them. OK? Then what I could do, Mike, if you wanted to, is come over here. Now you got it. You see it. And now just replace replace, replace, replace. And now when I come to audio mix, there is no audio at all in those clips, okay? All right, friends and colleagues, I was going to say ladies and gentlemen, and gentlemen and gentlemen. Nope, we have ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you later. So for those of you who are members, tomorrow at 12 noon is the webinar, members webinar, and then at 7 p.m. this evening is the the other Casablanca Tips webinar. And I see we have a couple of gold and silver members from my other websites, Your Video Expert and Your Technology Tutor. The session for Your Video Expert has been postponed this afternoon. So if you didn't get that email, it is postponed. So please don't feel like you've missed this afternoon's session. 7 p.m. my time, that is correct. 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. What am I going to share? At least 12 tips that have nothing to do with the tips we did today. All right? I might show the audio one, though, a condensed version of that, because that's really cool. But I'm going to show Aqaba tonight. I'm going to show some Candy Factory and putting together some other tips. You'll be tuning in with a cocktail. Well, have one for me as well. Thanks again, folks. Have a great afternoon. Great day now. Bye-bye.
The